What is up, guys? It is the playoff season is among us, and I am gonna be predicting some playoffs in these matchups. So I'm gonna have some interesting picks. Um, so we have the Seahawks as a 1 seed, and the Broncos as another 1 seed. We have the Bears as another 1 seed, or as the 2 seed. Packers seventh. The rest you guys can read. But here are some of my predictions. Um, Again, let's start with the NFC wild card side. So the Bears Packers. Honestly, I got this going to the Bears. I think they've won. Both teams have won when they're at home, and that's not enough to pick the Bears. But I think the Packers defense is just so injured, and people aren't talking about that enough. Is that without Michael Parsons, this unit hasn't been as good as it once was, and the Bears and Caleb Williams have done very good. These past couple of weeks, they just dropped 42 on or 38 on the Niners. The defense is a little wishy washy, but I think the Packers just aren't made for this. They're a little too injured. If they had maybe Parsons and some other pieces, um, I would feel a little more confident in the Packers. But the problem is the Bears. They're so young, but they're so good. And I think this team's really turned a new leaf. And I feel like we can really see how well Caleb Williams can perform in a prime time. We can get a kind of good, like, I don't know, idea how well he's going to perform in a good primetime matchup. But I think the Bears is gonna give the Packers a hard time. I think that defense is a little too banged up to eventually win from the Bears. I got the Bears. Eagles and the Niners. I can see this going either way. The Eagles' offensive line has not been good. It's there's been lack of push. There's been lack of a lot of things actually. So I'm not sure how confident I am in the Eagles. Same with the 49ers. Their offense just looked really slow against Seattle. So, like, how deep can you think they can get into the playoffs? I think I'll go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are just so good. They have so much more experience. I know the 49ers went to the Super Bowl a couple times with the Chiefs. I just don't think that they're made for it either. They're also pretty banged up. Maybe if they're missing Fred Warner, they're missing Bosa. Bosa won't be coming back. Fred Warner might be coming back the divisional round, maybe even the championship round. You don't know. And I just think they're too banged up. Their edge rushers aren't good. Like, I don't think Huff and the other two are gonna really like move mountains. Like, I just don't think it's worth it. I think the Eagles will win one game. This playoff run. I think that the Eagles just have been fine enough to the point where they can win. It just depends how well Hurts plays, because Hurts can throw like 5 interceptions, or he can throw for like 304 touchdowns. Like, you just don't know with him. So how well the line and Hurts play, but I think they'll do good against this lackluster, injured San Francisco defense, who's been hurt a lot. I know they've done well with the amount they've been given, but I just don't think they're going to go far with how many injuries. The Panthers and the Rams. I got the Rams. The thing with the Rams is that they just sometimes play really bad. I mean, losing against the Falcons and the Panthers, at one point was really bad. I thought that they were the best team, and then they just kind of like made me a little like scared, because like, what if they do this in the playoffs? The problem with the Rams is the offensive line. The tackles aren't good. Dumfries is getting messed up against Walker and Pierce the entire game on against the Falcons. And I don't know how well they play, but I think the Rams again have that playoff experience. I know that it's not really the same team when they won against the Bengals in the Super Bowl like 3 or 4 years ago, but still, I mean, it's still a good team. Stafford is always going to give you some good juice and some good energy, and he'll find a way to win. He's a winner. And Verse and late, I just like everybody on that team enough to the point where I can take the Panthers. And I think the Panthers 8-9 record. I'm not sold on them. They didn't play good against the Bucks, and I think McMillan will have a good game, but I don't know about the running game, because the run defense for the Rams have been really good. The pass defense is okay because their secondary isn't as good, but the run defense for the Rams are really good. So, and they rely on the run a lot. So will Bryce Young torch you? If Bryce Young beats you, clap it up for him. He's really good. Yeah, if Bryce Young beats you, he's good. Okay, sure. But if if you kind of take away that run game for the Panthers, I'm kind of skeptical on how far they can go. So I think the Rams should be easy. I know this is in Carolina, but I just don't think it's as good as I would like it to be. It just depends on the conditioning, but I just think the Rams are just too good to lose this early. All right, let's go with the AFC wild card. Patriots versus the Chargers. I think I got the Patriots. Drake May has been playing so good. He MVP caliber season. Probably MVP. I think he's pretty much got that locked up. Depending on how well the playoffs go, I know they don't take playoff stats into accountability, but I still think playoff stats will kind of like see how it goes. But he's been playing so good, and that defense has been playing really good too. Vrabel's coached a great team, and I think that May and all of them will just be too big of a handful for the Chargers to get him, I guess. And it's also in Foxborough. The fans would be loud. This is the first time since like basically the Brady era they've been really competitive. So this is going to be a great game, and I think the Patriots are just going to get it done. I think the trenches are going to do their thing, and May will eventually burn that defense. I don't trust the Chargers O-line. I mean, it's very battered and injured. The interior of that O-line is very bad, and I think Milton Williams will get in there, and he, even though he's coming back, he will get in there and he will cause that game to wreck, and he will show that. Even though the Patriots don't have like a standout edge rusher like some of these other teams, but they're still gonna find a way to make Herbert uncomfortable and that receiving core uncomfortable too, because that corners Gonzo will make him feel comfortable. I just think that the Patriots are just too talented to get bounced by a seventh round team or seventh seed team. Even though the Chargers have been playing great. Let's go with the Bills versus let's go with the I want to say this one for last. Let's go with the Texans versus the Steelers. I got the Texans. I said this. I think the Texans can seriously make a run to the Super Bowl. Honestly, none of these teams right here are making me like feel so disconfident in the Texans. They've been the hottest team in football. Like honestly, they have. They're complete opposite of the Bucks. They've been so hot. That defensive line is so good. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson. They just played so well down the stretch, and C.J. Stroud's been playing good too. The offensive line hasn't been as big of an issue as I was concerned maybe like 7 weeks ago. It's been a very good, well-rounded style of football, and I guess the Steelers who have been okay and just barely lost to the Ravens. I don't know how well I'm willing to say that the Steelers are going to make it far. I just don't trust the Steelers in my personal opinion. I know Aaron Rodgers has a playoff experience. He won the Super Bowl in Green Bay, but I just don't think this team is built for it. It's very injured too. TJ Watt's a little banged up. Cam Hayward's getting old. He might be he's dealing with some injury or something. I don't know if he'll play. He probably will, but I don't know. You don't know. And that defense is so suffocating. Lassiter, all those guys, Al-Shahir, Stingley, all of them, literally all of them. Hunter, Barnett, all of them have been super good. And I think the Texans can blitz Rodgers. Rodgers would be tough. I know this is gonna be in Pittsburgh, but I still think the Texans will get it done and force another game. All right, finally, Jags and Bills. This is going to be an interesting game to me too. Trevor Lawrence he's playing some really good football, but same with the Bills. The Bills are playing fine football too. But the AFC is wide open in my personal opinion. I think they can go far. It's just, will the Bills playoff experience prevail? And I think I got them prevailing. I know it's going to sound a little crazy, but I think it's the Bills playoff series to lose. Like, honestly, it is. I know they're the lower seed technically, but the Patriots have been so good, and the Bills, when they played good, they played good. I know that receiving core isn't as good for the Bills as some might think, but I think that the Bills can really win this on Josh Allen, and obviously them few do MVP things. I think Josh Allen can really propel his team, and I know I'm not saying anything crazy here, but I just have a feeling the Bills will win, and that's my feeling, and I really like the Bills' chances of winning. I think the Jags youth is going to get to them. I know Trevor Lawrence has had national championship experience in college, but this is different. This is the NFL. So I think that's going to be a little bit of like a different like expertise in the area for Trevor Lawrence. And this team is very young. I think in a year or two, this team is probably Super Bowl contenders. Like, honestly, I think I like where this team's going. Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., that receiving core is very good. Trenches is very good. Trevor Lawrence keeps on playing like this. I think he's worth the money. I always said this. I've always been a Trevor Lawrence believer. I think he was good. I think people were too quick to harp on him in a dysfunctional organization. But now he actually has a good quarterback or a good head coach. He can finally show his once great area of expertise where he was doing so well in Clemson, winning, losing like 1 or 2 games in his entire college career. That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. A guy like that just doesn't forget how to play football. So I think I think the Jags can be good in a couple years, but um, the Bills, I just think that the Bills just it's their playoff series to lose, and I think Josh Allen will eventually prevail. And I'm not very sold on the Bills yet. I don't think they make it past Denver either. So I'm gonna hold off on that in a second. But let's go with the. I'll say this one for last two. Let's go with the Bears and the Bears and the Eagles. My bad. The Bears and the Eagles. I got the Eagles. I think the Eagles again will have the experience will prevail. I think Ben Johnson's a great head coach, but I think Caleb Williams has that one game where he messes up and he doesn't hit a wall necessarily, but he does struggle a tiny bit where that defense is gonna get to him, that pass rush is gonna get to him, linebacking core, all those hard hitters are gonna get to him, and I feel like he's gonna get picked off a couple times. And I think the Bears defense isn't made for Saquon Barkley's run offense. I think that they'll eventually struggle with the run, and that'll open up the passing game and play action, and eventually Brown or Smith will wear them eventually. So I think the Eagles just have a matchup here. It's not really a coaching matchup. It's just like a team matchup. The Eagles are basically meant to beat the Bears. Like their run offense is so good compared to the Bears. And I think the offensive line can kind of get their shit together in the playoffs. They always seem to do that. So I'm not going to pick against the Eagles until they prove me wrong. Let's go with the Broncos and the Bills. I got the Broncos. I think the Broncos have been very good. That defensive unit is so good. Other than like a couple hiccups like the Giants game or some other really small games, this Broncos defense has been lights out. And I think Bo Nix and his and company, both of the trenches for Denver is better. I know the Bills have Josh Allen, but I don't know how well I feel about Josh Allen actually, like propelling this team so far. I don't think the Bills are gonna go super super duper far, but I think the Broncos can make a run, and that defense is gonna be so good, and they're gonna give trouble to that. The secondary is gonna give trouble to the receivers, because that receiving core is also very grim and it's not very good. I know Josh Allen will try his best. Josh Allen makes some plays. It's Josh Allen. I mean, it is what it is, but you gotta hold James Cook in check too, and I think that James Cook can get shut down by this Broncos defense. They've been very good this year. I think I got the Broncos winning this. Patriots Texans. Call me crazy. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I think the Texans defense is playing so good. They're so hot. I don't think they lose another game. Honestly, I don't think they lose another game. I think the Texans. It's just my dark horse team. I think everyone's not counting them out, but they're not thinking they're legit. I think they can. They've had some experience earlier. Their defense is just too good. It's just they're playing so good right now. I know they had a couple of scares. They had a scare against the Raiders. They had a scare against the Colts. This might be a swing and a miss with a prediction, but I do think the Texans can get it done. The reason why I'm thinking this is because it's a lot to process, I guess, because the Texans, I know, have suffocating pass defense. That the two edge rushers and the defensive tackles are crazy, but their corners and secondary isn't bad either. And their linebacking core, everything is fundamentally sound, and I don't really see an area of weakness on that defense. It's just the offense. Will the Broncos or Patriots like defense get to CJ Stroud? That's the problem. Nico Collins, their receiving core isn't extraordinary, right? It's Nico Collins and others. It's not extraordinary, right? But the problem is, will the Patriots pass rush get there? And I don't think the Patriots pass rush is as good to the point where you can count on them getting to CJ Stroud that much. I think it's maybe a different story for Denver, because their defense is so good and their trenches are so good. That's gonna be an interesting matchup, but I just don't think that the Patriots pass rush is there. That's why I think they go pass rush this draft a lot, because the pass rush is so like there's not like the guy. Like there's Milton Williams, I guess, but like he's more of a defensive tackle run stopper. There's not the guy like I trust, like, he's gonna step up and make a big play. Like I don't think that's really like the guy there. So I think the Texans will win on the defensive side of the ball, and their offensive side of the ball will do just enough to squeak it out. I just like 24-20. Like that's how close it will be. I'm really sold on the Texans. I'm gonna be honest. Game of the year rematch. Seahawks, Rams. This is gonna be a good one. So the Seahawks are just coming off a great performance to clinch the number one seed, 13-3. It was a very defensively sound game. I think that the Steelers I think that the 49ers just dropped 42 on the Bears, who are the second seed in the NFC, which is crazy to think about. So to hold the 49ers to 3 after just dropping 42 on the Bears is kind of crazy. Like, that's just crazy news to me. So I think the Seahawks can honestly suffocate that Rams offense, which has been very wishy-washy at times. It's just, do they have the corners to contain Puka Nacua? And I know secondary is a big deal for them, and so with same with some guards or tackles, but I think that's less of an issue as secondary. Who's going to contain Puka Nacua? And you can say the same thing about JSN. Who's going to contain JSN? Like, you don't know who's going to do that. It's just who's going to do more to contain the star wide receiver. And the running game's good. I like Kenneth Walker. I like Charbonnet. I like Corum. It's just, I don't know who's going to contain those two guys on either team. And for that alone, I think the Seahawks defense has shown me more. And I think the Seahawks can really go far if their defense just plays lights out like they did against the 49ers. That 49ers offense is pretty explosive. McCaffrey, Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Pearsall when he's playing, Kendrick Bourne. Like, it's not a bad unit. And I think the defense played for Seattle was very good. Like, they were suffocating. It was literally suffocating. And it was some missed field goals, I know, but like, still, I don't think that the Seahawks defense has showed me anything less than greatness, because they've been really good. And they've been a top unit in the NFL, and their coaching staff's done very well too. Mike McDonald's been doing very well, and I just think that the Seahawks will play suffocating defense in the Rams. I don't know if I trust the Rams, because they're so, other than Puka Nacua and some of that run game, and Devontae Adams. I know Devontae Adams is coming back too. I think JSN can, and that Seahawks defense can kind of shut them down a little bit. I'm not really worried. Woolen and Witherspoon, I think we'll find their way, and I'm not very concerned with the Rams, or with the Seahawks' chances of containing the two receivers for the Rams. I know Higbee's coming back too. I just don't. I'm not very sold on how the Rams will stop the Seahawks wide receiver duo. All right, we got the championships. Let's go with the NFC. All right, Seahawks again. I think the Seahawks will again do the same thing. They'll play suffocating defense. They'll stop Saquon. They'll stop the pass offense. I think Jalen Hurts will have a disaster class of a game here. Not a disaster class. We won't have as dominant a game as I used to see the Eagles. I think the Rams, I think the Seahawks are Super Bowl bound. I think they can really make it far, and I think Sam Darnold can finally get his big clutch game win, his signature win, and will eventually clinch the NFC Championship and send them to the Super Bowl. I think that's perfectly fine with me. I got the Texans for for the AFC. I'm telling you, the Texans are so hot, I don't think they cool down. Here's how it's gonna go, okay? The Broncos are gonna get some good. They're gonna get up like 10. They're gonna get up 10 or 14. The Texans will come back second quarter. They'll start getting to the quarterback. They'll start getting to Nix. They'll start suffocating Nix with Stingley. They'll get to the Nix with Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, all of those guys. They'll hit them hard. I think the Texans can do this. I know the offensive line for the Broncos are very strong, but I think Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter have been playing so hot right now. I don't think they're gonna die out this quickly. And honestly, I think C.J. Stroud will have a masterclass of a game. I know Nico Collins will be on Surtain, so you're gonna have to rely on some of the other wide receivers there, or you're gonna have to rely on the running game. Rely on Mixon or just any running back, just getting him, because I don't know. I just think I have a feeling like I just something in your heart like tells you like I think the Texans can make it far. I think C.J. Stroud is also made for these big moments too. I think he can really propel them. I'm a big C.J. Stroud believer. I really like C.J. Stroud. I like C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. I really like those two. So I really hope that the Texans will get this done, because I would love to see a Texans win. And I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Super Bowl champs are the Seahawks. Okay, I know I'm giving a lot of bias towards the Seahawks, or not bias, but like I'm giving a lot of like benefit of the doubt to the Seahawks. I just think they played so well down the stretch that they're also very hot too. I think the Texans' insanity run comes to an end. I think the Seahawks will just I think JSN will go off. I think JSN is a Super Bowl MVP, in my personal opinion. Darnold will have a good game. I think that run offense will do very well for the Seahawks, and I think it's just more of a matchup based too for this one. The Seahawks have crazy pass rush too. I think they can get there. Leonard Williams and Lawrence and all of those guys, they can all get in there, and I like the Seahawks defensive unit, and I feel like the defensive side of the ball is so fundamentally sound for the Seahawks. I think they can really, they're meant for these big moments, in my personal opinion. And there's some experience too for the Seahawks. They've been in the playoffs a couple prior years past. I just honestly, I think the Seahawks are legit. I think Seahawks, Texans, Rams, Broncos, and even Patriots to an extent are just real contenders. It's just I have problems with the Rams secondary, and I just don't know how well Stafford will play because sometimes he's missing clutch time throws, big throws. I know Stafford has a bunch of playoff experience, but he's sometimes missing big throws. I'm very concerned with the Broncos too because they haven't made this far like basically ever. They got bounced in the first round last year, and last year was the first time they're making the playoffs in like 8 years. I have my concerns with them too. I don't think they're really built for this now either. Maybe in like 2 years we'll have a different conversation where they're legit Super Bowl contenders. Same with the Jags. I think the Chargers are too injured, and they're missing too many pieces to the point where they can make a real deep run. And they're playing against the Patriots too. It's not a good luck of the draw. If they're playing against the Jags, it'd be a little different. Same with the Bills. I don't think the Bills can make it that far either because again they're injured, and I don't really trust that secondary. I don't trust the receivers to make big time plays. They don't really have that number one guy who I'm really concerned about. Patriots too. They're a little underdeveloped, and I don't think they can really make it far either because the experience is lacking. I think the Texans have that right experience. I think the Seahawks don't have that much experience, but they have enough experience. Same with the Eagles. The Eagles are going to rely on experience. I just think the Seahawks are gonna find a way to exploit some of these different weaknesses on the teams, and they're so well coached. And I just think it's worth it to pick the Seahawks in this. Let me know if you guys have any disagreements. Yeah, that's about it.